Hello, everybody. Welcome to UPPSTART. So I am Jason. I am the founder of UPPSTART. It's so wonderful to be here and to see all of you people tuning in from all over the world, in faraway places, from all corners of the globe. How amazing and what a privilege. So thank you for coming. So we are going to be, or I am going to be doing a quick introduction for you, just on talking a little bit about what UPPSTART is and mostly how you can get the most out today. And I'm going to be giving you a few tips of some of my top picks in terms of sessions today. So in the chat, give me some love. Tell me where you're from. This is awesome. Right, so I'm going to crack on. So first of all, the hashtag. We are a tech startup conference. So of course we have a hashtag. Use it. The best social media post is going to get $100 Amazon voucher. So yeah, take screenshots. If you see sessions where you see interesting quotes, share those out. We have a really awesome 2D experience today, UPPSTART World. So do take some nice screenshots or potential videos from that as well, and you might be in for a little prize there. So where did it all start? Uppsala, my hometown, my lovely hometown in Sweden. This is where UPPSTART began in 2014. It started as a small little gathering of about 200-300 people. Let's see in the chat who was there at that event. Was there anyone in the chat that was at that event so long ago? So we basically built this event for the tech startup community. It started as a small local thing in Uppsala. It grew to be a national thing in Sweden, and now we're basically an international event. So today we basically are, as you know, now a completely virtual conference at the moment, and we have attendance from over 100 countries today. So that's pretty cool. This is live data, by the way. That was a live map from Hopin. So we have 100 sessions today happening across 26 content tracks. So everything really you can think of under the tech startup umbrella. So we have also an agenda you can find in the reception. So if in Hopin you want to find what's happening today, go to the reception. It's in, is it that way or that way? One of the sides. On the left-hand side, you will find the reception. And if you scroll down, there'll be an agenda. And you can book into sessions ahead and see what's happening in real time. That's kept up to date. You can also check this link, which is our website, uppstart.com/agenda, and that will tell you what's happening. If you click into each session, there'll be a direct link to join the session as well. So that has you covered if you want to know what to find today. So yeah, as I mentioned, we have 125 speakers from across the globe today, which is just incredible. And we built you a metaverse. So this was something we added new this year. We've never tried before. It's kind of an experiment. So you're kind of our guinea pigs, but I think also quite exciting. So as you can see here, we've got a startup showcase. So all of our exhibitors this year are in the virtual world in the metaverse in uppstart.world this year, which is a separate platform, but it happens in the browser. As you can see here, you can teleport around between spaces. You have a little avatar to walk around. It's not just Mark Zuckerberg that's into the metaverse, we are too. So here's the workshop stage. There's about 4 workshops happening, interactive workshops there today. We've got the Q&A space. So after each session in Hopin, people are going to be going over to the Q&A spaces here in the metaverse to hang out with the speakers. Networking rooms we've got here. You can do one-on-one chats with people across the conference, icebreakers. So here you've got little areas you can, if you're not feeling confident, don't know what to talk about, you can go in here and we'll tell you what to talk about. Is crypto the future? Yes, it is. And is the metaverse better than the universe? You decide. I'm going to go for yes on this one. So we also have some little drop-in private rooms as well at the top there. And in Hopin, if you want to book a meeting with someone, click the People tab at the top, find the person you want, and you can schedule a meeting with them here in Hopin. So we've got bar as well, virtual bar. So in the after events happening today in the evening, we've got a musical performance, wine tasting, a pub quiz. There'll be cash prizes, and there's a poker room as well. So you can go and play poker interactively with people. So that's definitely worth checking out. Fun is a big part of UPPSTART and a part of our brand. So we really try to kind of replicate the sort of fun factor of physical events in this virtual environment. And we have a VIP room as well. So for the lucky speakers and VIPs that have access, you can go into the VIP space. And if you're an attendee, maybe you can convince a speaker to take you into the VIP space with you. So we have Jason's 25, I think it's actually a bit less than 25. There was too many and it took too long. So it's actually just under 25 session tips of our 100 sessions today. I just wanted to highlight a few of the key things I think you shouldn't miss out on. And apologies if you're not in this list. I couldn't possibly mention all 100 sessions here, but these are the ones that really kind of tickle my fancy and I think you should probably check out. So Metaverse Networking, that is a fun thing where you can, as you saw in the video, you can go into the networking room and you can basically meet people through the conference in a very 2D interactive, serendipitous way. So imagine in a real life event, you bump into someone, you're like, hey man, what do you do? And that's what we felt is a little bit missing in some of these more sort of Teams-like environments. So we decided to build a 2D environment. So that is definitely worth checking out. This workshop with Jonathan is also happening in the Metaverse in upstart.world. That's happening in the workshop area if you teleport over to there. If you ever want to find where to go, you just go to the agenda in the reception, or you go on our website, upstart.com/agenda, and you'll be able to click the link and it will take you straight to the place you need to go. So you don't have to worry about finding anything. Even in the Metaverse, you click the link, it will teleport you straight to the place you need to be. So there's no worries about finding what you need to find. Jonathan is awesome PR guy. He's done work for Sony. He's spending his time here for free today, helping people, startups, entrepreneurs, how to do PR. He normally charges $1,000 an hour for his time, so that's definitely worth checking that one out. Speaker Hangout, as I mentioned, after each session in Hop In today, there will be a Hangout in the Metaverse in our 2D world. And so all of the speakers that you see, there's many, many more. There's, as I say, 125 speakers today. We'll be heading over to the Metaverse and hanging out with the attendees. So it's a good chance to not only meet the speaker and connect with them and ask more questions, but also to meet each other as attendees, like you would in a normal conference. That part we felt was kind of missing in the chat type experience. So this is a very interactive way to do that. It's definitely worth checking out. At 1 o'clock, we've got Dealing with the Highs and Lows of Startup Life. Sarah Porter, epic woman in tech, in AI, and various other things. She's an awesome entrepreneur, being interviewed by Josephine Svensson, who was here actually last year doing lots of moderation stuff as well. She runs a massive podcast. That's definitely worth checking out. It's a very untalked about topic of how to handle the stress with startup life. So that's worth watching. Naveen is a repeat speaker. I think he's done the most speaking gigs at Upstart to date. And there's a reason for that, because he's so popular. So Naveen is doing a workshop in upstart.world in the workshop space at 1 o'clock. And it's an interactive workshop on how to get funding for your startup in easy steps. And so this guy knows what he's talking about. Naveen is, the title is underselling it. So he has a boot camp, innovation boot camp, but he's also an epic investor with $3 billion of exits. He is investing in many different companies and is a successful entrepreneur himself in his own right. So it's very, that would normally cost you a lot of money to attend that talk. So it's definitely worth checking that one out. Excuse me. This one is also coming up 1 o'clock. We've got the Creating the Young Programmers of Tomorrow. 3 really incredible people. I actually have the book right here. So I actually bought this book. I got gifted this book by a family member, Hello Ruby, and it's basically teaching kids how to program. And I got it for my 4-year-old daughter, Nora. And so Linda, the author, is actually going to be in a panel today talking about this topic of how we get our young kids inspired in tech. So Paula at Magi Labs and Caroline from 15 Tech, also really prolific people within the Women in Tech movement. So that's going to be really interesting to listen to. And then at 1:10, this is all Swedish time, CET. So do the conversion, Google it into your own time zone so you don't miss anything. How to blow away VCs at seed stage, quite a popular topic and something most startup founders need to do at some point if they're growing at extreme speed. Simon Olsen and Peter are pretty well known in the VC space. And Diana is a Forbes writer. She's going to be moderating them. She has a lot of background about interviewing unicorns across the world and in Silicon Valley. So that's going to be super cool. So, and if you're wondering, by the way, Sadita, you were asking about how can you do the wine tasting online. That's actually coming up a bit later, and I'll talk about that at the end of these slides, because we do have a virtual wine tasting, and you can actually taste wine live if you're fast enough to buy the wine. So I'll come to that in a minute. So the Upstart World Startup Showcase, these are our exhibiting booths for for today's event. So imagine going into a typical conference, you have your startup booths. We've tried this in previous years in kind of the more static type experiences, and it didn't really work very well. So we've gone all in and built an entire map in the metaverse with 2D startup booths where you can walk around and meet the founders, learn about the companies. So we're looking forward to seeing that. Do support the startups there today. It's all about the startups really, Upstart. So it's great support for them if you go and say hello and see if you can help them in some way. And that's opening at 11 just after this, and it's going to be open all day in the metaverse. You just go to upstart.world and that will actually take you straight to the startup showcase. 11 o'clock, we have what VCs really mean when they say no. In fact, I can probably say this without revealing any facts. Actually, two of the VCs on that panel said no to my startup many years ago. So I don't know if they even remember that, but it's a funny topical thing and very common. Actually, you often hear about the startups that get funded, but what about the ones that don't? And what about when VCs say, no, you need to get more traction? Or what does that really mean? So I think this is actually going to be quite fun. It's a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek panel, but it's going to be very interesting to hear, and three really, really well-known VCs there on that panel. So 11 o'clock, that's happening in Hopin. Definitely check that out. So workshop-wise then, we have the scaling school, scaling workshop. So if you're into scale, which to be honest, if you're a startup entrepreneur, you should be, you're either going to be building a company that needs to scale, you're either a seed stage company about to scale, or you're a scaling startup that's already scaling and finding all those challenges that come with that. So Maria and Sarah there is going to be doing an interactive workshop here in Hopin on this one. That's not in Upstart World. And so that's at 1:40. How to get journalists to publish your news. Again, very important topic, and couldn't be better people on this panel. So you have Katarina, who's got a prolific background within Break It in Swedish tech news with SVT. She's also hosting a podcast now called Techsplain. And you have Mike Butcher, who pretty much needs no introduction. If you don't know who Mike Butcher is, you're not really in the tech startup world. He's an MBE, which has been awarded by the Queen of England. He's an awesome guy and has been at Upstart a few times now. He's the editor-at-large of TechCrunch, pretty much, I believe, you could say the biggest tech publication in the world. And he'll be telling you how to get your news published on sites like TechCrunch, which is also not very talked about very often. So all this hyper real metaverse business, what's it all about? Well, this is going to be probably one of our biggest panels of the day. We have Ilya from InWorld, is very well known in the AI space. We've got Thomas Graham. You may not recognize the name initially, but you probably recognize what Thomas built, which was the Tom Cruise deepfake. So if you've seen that circulating the interwebs, it's basically a deep fake of Tom Cruise that was like almost identical. You literally can't tell it's not Tom Cruise, which is a bit scary, but also what's happening today. So Thomas and his company Metaphysic built that, and they're going to be talking about this topic of when will we get to the point where sort of the metaverse embraces, where it basically becomes unidentifiable versus reality. So Mike Butcher at TechCrunch is going to be hosting that. Pitch Up is our pitching competition. Every year we do this. 10 startups are going to compete with fast 2-minute pace, fast 2-minute pitches. Yasmin's going to be hosting that, our yearly host. There'll be €1,000 prize to the winner by interactive digital vote. So that's going to be fun to watch. And yeah, if you're an investor, check that one out because there's 10 companies from across the world that are interesting growth companies have been handpicked. And if you're just generally interested, attend it because you're going to learn a lot from those startups and what they're up to. Okay, I'm having to speed up because we're running low on time. There's so much stuff to get through. And this was the short list. So this is happening. The pub quiz is kicking off our after events today at 6:05 CET. That's all of our after events are happening in Upstart World today. So if you want to go to those, head over to Upstart World. And you can walk around in the bar. All of the after events are happening in the bar area, the Upstart World bar. And the pub quiz is a fun thing we do every year. It's a tech startup themed pub quiz with a music round and all sorts of stuff. There'll be $100 Amazon prize to the winner as well. wine tasting. So someone was talking about this earlier. Yes, there is a virtual wine tasting. You can, if you're quick today, actually pick up the wines. There's 3 wines on the list. And if you go to upstart.com/agenda, you'll find this session here. And if you click into the description, you'll see the wines listed. If you want to buy them ahead, which I do, and I'll be enjoying those later, I can tell you, you can actually taste the wines live. We have Laurie, who is a professional sommelier and comedian from the US, who's going to be doing like a kind of clever brand of comedy and wine tasting. But even if you don't have the wine, come along to that. You're going to learn a lot, and it's going to be quite a fun experience as well. I have to mention. Whilst I turn that down. So we have a 2D musical experience today from Jurgis Did from Upstart. From Upstart, he's been at previous Upstart events as well, and that is definitely worth checking out. He's going to be in the after events. And he's going to be doing a really interactive musical performance on the bar stage. So yeah, do check that out as well. So then finally, I'm wrapping this up. We're out of time, but a few things I really need to mention. After this, we're kicking off straight away with a live virtual breathing session from Hale. We did a live meditation last year. This is a breathing experience, which is similar but quite different. It's deep breathing exercises that I've actually been getting into myself personally and been working with the Hale guys a little bit. It's pretty mind-blowing stuff. And for entrepreneurs that are looking to reduce stress, increase productivity, these are really interesting techniques. So after this, we're going to be doing a live breathing session. And then at 10:55, they'll be actually in the showcase area, in the startup showcase in the 2D Metaverse Upstart world, with an actual breathing center called Hale Center. And they have these in the real world, and we've replicated it in 2D form. So you can drop in and basically talk to them about how to breathe. It's actually a less commonly known thing than you would expect. Thank you to the partners. This goes without saying. All of these partners today have made these tickets free and possible for you all. So if you get the chance, go to the Startup Showcase and say hello to them and give them a thank you and a pat on the back, because they're the reason that this is basically happening. So Gather, thank you for the hard work you put in helping us to build this metaverse. Prime Computer, there are some sessions with Sasha, the CEO, today you need to check out. They're a really awesome impact startup innovating with a new hardware product, a sustainable computer. Uppsala Commune and Stockholm, Uppsala City and Stockholm City, thank you for your ongoing support. They have booths today. The Swedish Energy Agency, thank you for all the support. This is the hashtag again. So I'm going to leave now, and don't forget to head over to the breathing session. That's happening in sessions. So if everyone heads over to the sessions tab, it will pop up 5 minutes before the session. All sessions pop up 5 minutes beforehand, if you wonder. And let's go do some breathing. Let's start the day on a good note. And I hope you enjoy Upstart today.